What if the holidays we celebrate in church didn't come from the Bible, but from the gods the Bible warned us about? We were taught that Christmas celebrates Jesus' birth and Easter, his resurrection. But history tells a very different story. Let's start with Christmas. The Bible never mentions December 25th as the day Jesus was born. In fact, early Christians never celebrated his birthday at all. That tradition came centuries later. So why December 25th? Because it was already a holy day for pagans, the climax of a festival called Saturnalia. Saturnalia was a Roman holiday held in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture and time. It was a wild season of feasting, drinking, gift-giving, and lawless celebration. Slaves were allowed to switch roles with their masters. Sexual excess, gambling, and singing in the streets were common. But that's not all. Around the same time, Romans celebrated Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun. The winter solstice, when the sun appears to be reborn, was linked to sun gods like Mithras, Apollo, and Sol. December 25th marked the return of longer days, and in pagan religions, the rebirth of divine light. In 274 AD, Roman Emperor Aurelian made Sol Invictus an official Roman deity and declared December 25th his birthday. Less than 100 years later, the Roman Church adopted that same date for Jesus' birth. They called it a strategy, Christianize the pagans. But what really happened was a merging of holy and profane. They didn't replace Saturnalia, they baptized it. They kept the date, they kept the party, but gave it a new name. Now look at our traditions: decorated trees, Yule logs, wreaths, mistletoe. None of these come from the Bible. Trees were sacred in Norse and Germanic worship, believed to connect heaven, earth, and the underworld. The Yule log comes from Norse fire festivals, honoring Thor and Odin during the solstice. Mistletoe was seen as a magical plant, used in Druid rituals, hung for fertility and protection. And Santa Claus? He's not from the nativity. His roots come from Odin, the Norse god, with a long white beard who rode the skies during Yule. Even the name Yule itself is pagan. Yet today, many churches host Yule events without even knowing what it means. Now let's turn to Easter, a holy day for the resurrection of Jesus, mixed with eggs, rabbits, and candy. The name Easter comes from Ishtar, a Saxon goddess of spring, dawn, and fertility. In ancient Europe, she was honored with festivals as the earth began to bloom again. Her symbols? Rabbits for fertility and eggs for birth and new life. In Mesopotamia, a similar goddess existed, Ishtar, goddess of love, war, and fertility. Her rituals included eggs, weeping, and even temple prostitution. And that word, Ishtar, sounds strikingly close to Easter in English, though the direct linguistic link is debated. Still, the symbols persisted. The egg hunt, the Easter bunny, and the emphasis on fertility and sweetness came long before Jesus. Early Christians didn't celebrate Easter with these rituals. These were added later as the church sought to convert pagans more easily. Instead of confronting their traditions, the church said, "We'll give you new meaning, but keep your symbols." So eggs became symbols of the empty tomb, rabbits became symbols of new life, and the pagan became sacred by name only. But here's the problem. God never asked for this. In Deuteronomy 12:30, he warned Israel, "Do not inquire about their gods, saying, 'How do these nations serve their gods? I also will do the same.'" God made it clear, do not mix his worship with pagan tradition. Yet that's exactly what happened. And today, billions honor Jesus with symbols he never asked for and may even reject. We've been told it's harmless, that it's about the heart. But when hearts are unaware, rituals take on power of their own. Imagine being part of the early church, refusing Roman gods, being persecuted for your faith, and then seeing your sacred celebrations blended with those same idols. That's what happened. Over time, purity was replaced with compromise, truth traded for acceptance. The Roman Empire didn't destroy Christianity, it merged with it. And when Constantine made Christianity legal in 313 AD, everything changed. Church and empire became one. And suddenly, the goal wasn't just worship, it was control. To unify a diverse pagan population, the church repackaged the rituals people already loved and put Jesus' name on top. It wasn't transformation, it was substitution. And it worked. By keeping the dates, symbols, and emotions, people felt like nothing had changed, except the story. And for generations, the truth was buried under garlands, eggs, and red-suited legends. Theologians and historians have acknowledged it. Even the Catholic Encyclopedia admits the pagan origins of these customs. Yet few pastors preach it, few churches confront it. Why? Because tradition is more comfortable than truth. And because to challenge it is to challenge the foundation of modern Christian culture. But God doesn't want half-truths. He wants spirit and truth. Jeremiah 10 warns, "Do not learn the way of the nations, for the customs of the people are vanity." In Exodus, God commands, "You shall have no other gods before me, not even in disguise." So what should believers do? Do we throw away the holidays, cancel Christmas, burn the eggs and trees? Not necessarily. But we must wake up to what we've blindly accepted. God is not asking for legalism, but He is asking for discernment. It's time to stop asking, "And what's wrong with it?" and start asking, "Was this ever right in His eyes?" If Jesus were to walk into our churches today, would He recognize the holidays we say are about Him? Would He see His heart reflected in egg hunts and Santa parades? Or would He see a people who exchanged truth for tradition and never questioned it? The goal isn't to shame, it's to search, to ask hard questions, to dig deeper than culture, to worship God His way, not ours. Because purity matters, not just in private, but in public celebration. The early church was radical, countercultural, and willing to die for truth. Today, many of us won't even question a bunny, but now you know. And when you know truth, you're responsible for it. You don't need eggs to celebrate resurrection. You don't need trees to honor the birth of the King. You need worship that is holy, sincere, and set apart. Because if Satan can't stop you from worshiping God, he'll just get you to do it his way. This isn't about holidays, it's about holiness. It's not about history, it's about what we do with it now. So this year, ask yourself, am I honoring Jesus or continuing a celebration He never started? Because the God of the Bible doesn't share His throne, not with Saturn, not with Ishtar, not with culture. The choice isn't easy, but it's clear. Will you follow tradition or truth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.